Hi, I'm Mara Norris. Welcome to Sing for Your Supper. I'm here today with my good friend Richie Rodriguez, and he's here today to help me learn how to make a dish that he grew up eating called Pollo Fricasse. Am I saying that right?
It's actually Pollo Fricasse.
Pollo Fricasse.
Pollo Fricasse.
Pollo Fricasse.
Fricasse.
Okay. I
Yeah.
got it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so tell us a little bit about why this dish is so important to you. Why do you have great memories of it?
The times that we do eat it, the family's together, and we're a very close family, so it's always good to be around each other. So we just give each other good vibes.
I think that's important when you're growing up, is to have those memories of everyone sitting around the table, eating, talking.
And that's all I remember, like, from family events, is food.
So this was a dish that I was unfamiliar with. So I read a bunch of different recipes for it, and there were some ingredients that I was unfamiliar with. And so I was hoping that you would kind of help me through this process and really taste some things.
Okay.
And help me distill what it is that you really remember about those dishes and make sure that my flavors are right. And if they're not, tell me, because I really, really want to learn about this dish.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
So one of the items on a lot of those recipes was called sazon.
yeah, Sazon.
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 Okay. So it's a seasoning. Unfortunately, the first ingredient in it is MSG, and you know, we know that's not great
it's not
for
great
us.
at all, but it tastes
So what I did is I tried to make a homemade version. So some of the ingredients that I found in a bunch of different recipes were annatto seeds to give it that color. They were coriander seeds. There was black
to make it
pepper.
that, like, orangey
Exactly. So one recipe had cumin seeds in it, one didn't. So I made two different types. So I'm going to ask you to try the two different ones and just tell me what one tastes more authentic to you.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is the one that has cumin in it.
I'm gonna make a mess.
It's okay. That's why you have your apron on. Okay, what do you think?
It tastes good.
Okay, now try this one.
I'm gonna put my whole hand in there. That one tastes more like it.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and use this one.
That's really good too. The one with cumin's really good.
We'll save this for a later dish. We'll make tacos. You said it would be good on tacos later on, right? Okay. So let's leave that to the side. So something else that I actually couldn't find in the store was called sofrito.
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 Okay, I like that. So again, I read a bunch of different recipes, and there were some peppers in there called ají dulce.
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 Which I believe is sweet, right? So a sweet pepper.
Yeah.
And they look like little, almost like Scotch bonnet, which are super spicy, but I don't think that they're spicy. So when I wound up getting, I couldn't find any of those. I got a red bell pepper, I got a poblano pepper, and then a little red jalapeno.
Okay.
So I fire roasted all of those, and I did two heads of garlic in the oven. I roasted those in some olive oil, and then I caramelized some onions. And then let me show you this. These were called recao, R-E-C-A-O.
Rakia.
This was something I was unfamiliar with. I did find it at an international market. So to me, it tastes a little bit like cilantro. And then it does have cilantro in it as well. I toasted some coriander seeds, ground those up.
It does taste like cilantro. Sorry.
That's okay. Just put those in there, and then obviously some salt and pepper, and I put a little lemon juice to help everything not turn brown. So taste this and just see if that is reminiscent of what you remember growing up.
Yeah, it does. It tastes really similar to the dish.
Okay, well that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I forgot the other thing in here was some olives, so green olives, which I happen to love, and some capers. I mean, this stuff is amazing. I love the flavor of it, so I'm really excited to try it in the dish. Other than that, really the only thing, I mean, this was a tomato sauce. They call it Spanish style. But when I made a test version of this, it's just basically
like
tomato
tomato
paste. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not too much different. And then we have that adobo. Adobo. I guess you're familiar with this.
Yes,
then.
I love adobo.
So yeah, it's got a nice sort of savory, salty flavor.
Yeah.
So that'll help flavor the dish as well. So I actually marinated our chicken, or pollo, in the adobo with a little bit of white vinegar and just some fresh garlic and cracked pepper.
Okay.
So that should give it a lot of flavor before we sear it. So from my cooking background, okay, my French training, fricasse is fricasse, but it's also in French, fricassee.
Oh, yeah. Fricassee.
So it's a braised dish.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it has some roots. You know, all those countries in Europe, they were all connected at one point.
And that's where like Puerto Rico is.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico is like originated by people from those countries, like France and Italy.
Your ancestors,
my
right?
ancestors.
So they were all borrowing from different cultures.
They're stealing.
Oh no!
Like Puerto Ricans love to do.
So it's a braised dish. So braising means that first you need to sear your meat, and then you're going to cook it low and slow in some flavorful liquid, which obviously our liquid is going to be super flavorful. So, what do you say? We get to work?
We cook it.
All right,
Yay.
let's go. Okay, so Richie, when you were a kid, you remember all the smells and the sounds and the tastes of this dish, but you really didn't learn how to make it just because you were running around causing trouble, right?
Basically.
Okay, so I'm basically going to teach you the basics of a braised dish.
Okay.
So here we have a pan. We're going to get it really hot before we put anything in it. So you can feel, obviously don't touch it with your finger, but you feel about an inch above, and it's going to get really hot. Okay, once it's really hot, then we're going to put our oil in. We want to have a good amount of oil, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Just make sure and really coat the bottom of your pan. So pick it up and just give it a swirl and get that oil all around. Oh, you're a natural, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you get for cooking for 6 years.
So here's our chicken. It's already been marinated. So put that down.
With adobo?
Yep, it was marinated in adobo, some white vinegar. So hear that? That's really what you're looking for. Thank you. Try not to get the chicken too close to another piece, because if you do that, it's
like
not.
Cookies.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. Now this isn't going to bleed together like cookies would, but it'll actually start to steam in the pan. It won't get that really nice brown crust on the bottom, which is what we're after. So the thing that a lot of people do, which is a mistake, is to move the meat too much.
Because if you move it, it's not going to really cook.
Exactly. It won't get enough contact with the pan to get that really nice brown sear, and that's what we're after. So let's just be patient.
There's a lot of brownness in this video.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So while that's
Salud.
Salud. Thank
Salud.
you. Well, it's getting nice and brown. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your relatives who you remember cooking this dish? What did they do? What do you remember them doing while they were cooking it?
I remember my aunt blasting salsa music and just dancing around singing with my uncle, and not wanting anyone in the kitchen because that's their like private time, I guess. And,
I get that.
Yeah. And I just remember the smells coming out of the kitchen, like even from outside. We were like running out the back, like in the pool or something, and coming inside and just like. It was like a nosegasm. It was a nosegasm, that's what it was. And I remember my mom attempting at doing it because she wasn't really a good cook growing up.
You know this is on camera, right?
It is on camera. She knows this. She knows this. Mom, sorry, but She's a good cook now.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
But she wasn't a good Hispanic cook because she cooked a lot of American things.
Okay.
And she brought us up very American. So she had to touch up on her Hispanic skills a little bit. But yeah, it was really plain and bland. Hers was. But my grandparents, I think, was the most authentic out of the trio.
Okay.
Because they made Pollo Fricasse with whole chicken. Instead of boneless chicken or any of that, they actually just left it, the bone in, and it let all the flavors out of it.
It really does. Cooking anything with the bone in gets a lot more flavor because the bones actually have collagen, which creates that really, really nice, thick-bodied sauce. Yeah. So if you can cook with the bone in, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
So do you think your mom would be like really proud of you if you came home one time and cooked this dish for her?
I feel like she would be. Yeah, I think she would. I think my aunt more so than my mom. Because my mom's not really a Hispanic eater. My aunt is. So.
Well, maybe next time you have a big family get together, you'll have to spring this on.
I always do. I'm always the one that's like begging them to make it. It's my favorite dish. So.
Well, now you don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
Alright, let's check this chicken. See how we're looking. Still a little pale, so we want it to be a little darker than that.
Like me. You have to wait until it's like a little brownie.
That's right. We're almost there. We're almost there. We'll give it a little bit more time.
A little bit more.
Alright, so our chicken is done. Nice and round on the outside. Beautiful.
Like it should.
Yes, lovely. However, we have all this stuff at the bottom of the pan. Okay, in French it's called fond. Fond. So it's the foundation of any good sauce or liquid. So we don't want to leave all that nice goodness at the bottom of the pan. So what we're going to do is called deglazing. Okay, so we do that with a couple of things. An acid. Okay, wine has a lot of acidity in it. Okay, it's a perfect one to use. And we're going to use kind of a scouring agent, which
like
is
onions?
Some onions. Okay, so let's get some onions in the bottom of the pan and boom, put our wine in.
Should we just scramble it?
Yep. So this is a non-stick pan, so we don't want to scratch it, so we're just using a wooden spoon. It's a little bit more homey anyway. So really you can just let that, yeah, you can smell it already. It's delicious.
Smells delicious.
And you can actually use that spoon to kind of scrape up the bottom. Yep.
It's like doing dishes, but with half the work.
The wine is doing your work for you. That's the great thing because it
That's what it
actually
should be
like
doing.
cleans your dishes for you. And then we'll just use some chopped carrots to help do that too. All right, so while you're doing that, we're almost done. Basically, the only thing left to do is pour all that goodness into our pot. We're gonna put our chicken back in there, and then we're gonna add all of our other flavoring ingredients. And then we're going to put the entire pot with a lid on it in the oven, and it's just gonna sit there and do its thing. All those flavors
Marinate.
Yes. All those flavors are gonna marry together. They're gonna be absolutely delicious, and then we can sit down and we can have a beer and we can eat it. Yay! All right, let's get this going.
Okay. Let's get this out of here.
Okay. So you help me get this out of the pot. Delish, doesn't it smell?
It smells so good. Nosegasm.
Okay. Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
All right.
Wiedersehen.
Okay, so here is our look-alike Sazon seasoning. Okay, so let's... Sazon. Okay, so mix that on up. Let's use it all. Why not?
Give it a taste. Oh my god, it smells so good.
Okay.
Reminds me of Florida.
Yum.
And wow, Puerto Ricans.
Florida tastes delicious.
Wow.
Okay, let's get a good amount of that sofrito
Sofrito.
in there. Okay.
Do you see this?
Oh my god, it smells incredible.
God.
I think we should add some additional green olives. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I adore green olives.
Olives just give it like a really good flavor to it.
And then these are some extra large capers. Okay. Oh my god, it looks incredible. Alright, so let's get some garlic in there as well.
Love me some garlic.
Okay, so this is another acidic ingredient in here. This is that...
A really important ingredient too.
Yeah, it's going to give it that beautiful color, but that flavor as well, and it helps to break down the proteins in the chicken. Okay, let's get that in there.
Tomato paste.
You're a very good stirrer. Oh, wait,
Except
I spoke too soon.
Yeah. Except for when I spill it over the counter.
Okay, and then we have some chicken stock. We don't need to use a ton because we want it to be nice and thick. But all the starches, we're also going to put some potatoes in there. Starch from the potato is going to help thicken it up a little bit. Okay, and just cut those into nice little chunks.
Perfect chunks.
Why, thank you. Okay. Now, final touch, just a little bit of adobo.
By a little, we mean a lot.
Well, let's start with a bit.
Perfect. That's perfect.
We can taste it halfway through, and if we feel like we need more, we can always add more. But remember, it's going to cook down, so we don't want to over salt it at the beginning because you can always add more salt.
Later on.
You can't take salt away. So,
I've learned that a lot.
How does this look?
It looks perfect.
Okay.
It smells and looks just like my other Puerto Ricans who made it.
Am I an honorary Puerto Rican now?
You're an honorary Puerto Rican now.
Thank you. Okay, let's get this in the oven and let's have a couple more beers and then we're gonna sit down with our beautiful Pollo Fricasse.
Pollo Fricasse, yeah.
Yay, we did it. Okay.
Yay.
In the oven.
Oh.
All right, so do you feel like you're at home?
Yeah.
You're a little kid.
I do.
All right, I'm gonna serve you up some of your Pollo Fricasse.
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 Okay, oh my god, it looks amazing.
It looks so good.
I'm excited about it. I'm sure you must be super
Yeah.
excited.
Probably my favorite dish ever, so.
It looks so hearty and just you can tell all those flavors have really married together. I gave myself way more than you. Here you go. I'm sure that you're hungry. You've been smelling this and getting excited about it, I hope. So,
Let's
all right.
eat it together.
Let's, you gotta give me the final word. Tell me how you like it.
Okay.
Okay, let's give it a try. Get that nice tender chicken in there. Mmm.
Wow.
Mmm.
That's so good.
Mmm.
It really does taste like someone back home made it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
It tastes really good. You can't taste it through there, but
Mmm.
there's just so many herbs. And the seasoning is what does it.
It's a
And
ton
the
of
chicken.
flavor. Yeah, doesn't the chicken gets super soft. Really tender. Mmm.
The potatoes too. The potatoes just melt in your mouth.
Well, they absorb all that flavor
Yeah.
too. Mmm. Delicious.
I remember that being my favorite part when I was a kid.
Mmm.
Was potatoes.
You can pick all the other potatoes out there. Well, Richie, thank you so much for joining me today. And
thank you so much for helping me learn how to make this dish.
well, I hope you make it for your family, and I hope they like it as much as you did when you were a kid.
I'm sure they will.
All right, join us next time on Sing for Your Supper.